This is PTV News Now. Atop the headlines, we go to the land of the free and home of the brave, where in the Capitol and Capitol building, Republican lawmakers in the GOP-controlled House, the apparent chokehold of Donald Trump has held sway even as a bipartisan piece of legislation from the Senate had been released earlier, which President Joe Biden has endorsed. The former and defeated president has enjoined all Republicans in the House and Senate to reject the deal outright and to absolutely deny any modicum of credit to the sitting president, who has expressed lately to shut down the border if the proposed piece of legislation urges so. Immigration has turned out to be the top issue in the 2024 presidential elections, with the alarming surge of mostly illegal immigrants in the thousands from Central and South America and Africa showing up each day at the border towns and cities of Mexico and the USA, seeking entry into the United States via the asylum route. It is estimated between 5 to 6 million illegal immigrants have made it in or been released by immigration authorities or border patrols inside the United States since U.S. President Joe Biden began his term in January 2021. First, it was the western United States even before the pandemic. Then it was Australia, followed by countries in Europe like Greece and then Canada last year. Now, extreme heat has shifted to the continental South America, where the latest raging wildfires have laid waste on central and southern Chile, leaving over 110 dead as of earlier today. President Gabriel Boric warned earlier today the casualty count would easily exceed 112 as search teams frantically combed neighborhood for survivors. The high heat and strong winds had sparked and fanned dozens of blazes, especially in hillside and coastal communities. Boric also declared a state of emergency across the flame-ravaged areas in central Chile and vowed government aid to all those adversely affected. Some 26,000 hectares or 64,000 acres have gone up in smoke thus far, while 1,400 firefighters and 1,300 military personnel and volunteers are battling the flames with an arsenal of 31 helicopters and cargo planes carrying flame-retardant solutions. The United States struck back over the weekend at Houthi fighters and Iranian-backed militias in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen as a delayed tit-for-tat hit on a drone attack that killed 3 American servicemen in Jordan last week. Now, State Department Chief Antony Blinken is headed to the Middle East to assuage its partners in the Gulf states. Its containment efforts are only against those anti-U.S. forces disrupting the flow of global trade in the affected waterways.
Even after a U.S.-led coalition successfully struck 36 Houthi targets in Yemen on Saturday, the United States can't rule out more attacks by the Houthis or by Iran-backed militias in the Middle East, warned National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on ABC's This Week show.
The central purpose of the strikes has been to take away capabilities from the Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria that are attacking our forces and from the Houthis that continue to threaten Red Sea shipping. And we believe they had good effect in degrading the capabilities of the militias and of the Houthis. And as necessary, we will continue to take action.
But the Houthis have vowed to continue their military operations, which they affirm are in retaliation for Israel's war against Hamas targets in Gaza. More than 27,000 Palestinians have been caught in the crossfire and killed, and more than 66,000 injured, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry.
What we see of aggression, siege, genocide, and a medicine blockade on our brothers in Gaza. Citizens of Yemen, its tribes, weapons, and men are getting ready to face this aggression and do what they can.
Israel's military campaign was launched in response to the Hamas terrorist incursion into Israeli territory on October 7. Some 1,200 people were killed in that attack, and 240 more were taken captive. On Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said 17 out of 24 Hamas battalions have been toppled so far.
Most of the remaining battalions are in the southern Gaza Strip and in Rafah, and we will take care of them too.
The U.S. is boosting its push for a diplomatic solution to the conflict with a new visit by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to the region. A multi-stage proposal for extended pauses in fighting and the release of hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners in Israel is also in the works.
The president has put his shoulder to the wheel on this. He has spoken to the leaders of both Qatar and Egypt, two countries that are centrally involved in trying to broker this deal. We are in constant contact with our Israeli counterparts on it, and Hamas will have to be willing to say yes to an arrangement that brings hostages home.
Sullivan noted the deal isn't imminent and no timetable can be provided. His remarks came after the United Nations warned Friday that the Rafah border area in particular is becoming, quote, a pressure cooker of despair for displaced Palestinians in Gaza. Veronica Valderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.
And that's it for this afternoon show. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same location on your remote and browser for more of the same. And keep in mind to always get smart, stay invested and connected while you catch the news right here. This is William Theo for PTV News Now.